remember there was a man who contacted me. He was involved in the defense establishment. And one of the stories that I'd covered very aggressively was Chinese military sales, missile sales. And he had photos and copies of contracts and other data showing sales by China of certain long-range missiles to Pakistan, which China had denied were taking place. And he had all the goods on it, and he wanted money for these materials. One of the principles of journalism is you don't pay for material. And so we met many times, and I was trying to convince him to give me the material free, and he was trying to convince me to pay for it. But one of the things you do as a journalist, you try to build a rapport with people. And so I would talk about his kids and my kids. And he had a wife and a son, a small son. He had a wife and a small son, and he was doing this so that his son would have a little more money and have better toys and have a better future. And that really nagged at me. And finally, I remember at our last meeting, I wasn't trying to get these materials out of him anymore, because I knew that if I published my story, that there was a real risk that somehow the source would be tracked down, and then he'd be executed. That's just how it would end. And so I was telling him, just go home, go back, forget about this, don't try to sell it to the U.S. Embassy or anybody else. Just go home and forget about it. And it was a very non-journalistic thing to do, but I really didn't, having made that bond with him for my own benefit, I didn't want to think about that kid growing up without a father.